A blessed day to you all, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to the channel. So we have a couple of cricketing stories that I want to share with you guys. Now, the West Indies were slated to take on New South Africa and Zimbabwe. And we have a couple of T20 leagues coming up. The UAE T20 League, and we also have the South Africa T20 League. And there are a couple of players that are not going to be available. You know, we would think that people like Alzarri Joseph, Jason Holder, and all of these guys, Akil Hussain, should be playing in these upcoming test matches. But with these guys not being available, you will find that it will provide an opportunity for a couple of players to get into the squad. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to discuss a couple of the players that I think should be added to the squad. And I'm also going to share with you guys the dates that the UAE T20 League will run and the South Africa T20 League, because some sort of clashing will be taking place as it relates to West Indies playing against these teams. So just to remind you, the UAE T20 League, it is actually going to be the first staging, and that will run early next year from January the 12th, and it will run through into February. So from the 12th of January into February, that will run. And people like the players that are going to be involved in that league, we have Akil Hussain, we have Raymond Rifa, we have Puran, and it goes without saying, Russell will be there and Narayan, but those guys aren't usually available for test matches. So I know people would want to see Akil Hussain playing some red ball cricket, but he will not be available. Raymond Rifa, and these guys will be involved in the UAE T20 League. So you can just take that out of your mind. I am going to remind you when West Indies will play. So West Indies will play the first test match on the 4th of February. Right? On the 4th of February, that first test match will be played. And we will have a practice game before that on the 28th of January. So the UAE League running from the 13th of January to the 12th of February. Did I say the 12th? Yeah, from the 13th of January to the 12th of February. That is when that league will run. So that will definitely clash with our first test. So you can just count out people like whoever wanted to see Akil Hussain. Obviously, he's not going to be there. Raymond Rifa, he was supposed to play against the team that we just played our test matches against, but guess what? No, against Australia. But he picked up an injury and he was selected to play in the UAE League. So don't know how that's going to go. And the South Africa League, just the same. The South Africa League will start from the 10th of January and will go through until the 11th of February. So from the 10th of January through to the 11th of February. And just to remind you, West Indies will play our first game on the 4th of February. Right? So that is definitely going to clash again. And these are some of the players that are not going to be available. Odin Smith, Romario Shepherd, Alzarri Joseph, Raymond Simmons, Jason Holder, and Kemo Paul. All these guys are slated to take part in the South Africa League. Don't know if they're going to eventually say, all right, let us just take part in just the first half, and then I don't know how they're going to do it, my piece. But obviously these guys won't. I don't think they are going to be playing. You understand? So the first test again starts on the 4th of February. The South Africa League will run from the 10th of January to the 11th of February. So we will be playing that first test while that South Africa League is going on. You know, and the same thing with the UAE League. So both leagues will be going at the same time. And players going to be busy. You understand? South Africa first test, you know, that definitely not going to work. Not going to work. So I was taking a look at a couple of players that we probably can give an opportunity. And the Zimbabwe and the South Africa test. The South Africa test starts on the 28th. Actually starts the 28th of February, if I'm not mistaken. The 28th, yeah man. The 28th of February, that one going go. So it goes without saying, those players that I just mentioned probably not going to be available. People like Odin Smith, Romario Shepherd, Jason Holder, Kemo Paul. So all those who are advocating for Romario Shepherd to get our look in is probably not going to be available. Now, the Zimbabwe and the South Africa test series, I am almost certain that they are going to use squad. Probably they will add one or two players. You understand? They will change out 1 and 2 players, because by the time the South Africa series comes around, then they will have the leagues, the last league would have finished. You understand? So players will probably be available. So maybe they're going to add put in a couple of them. Don't know if Jason Hole and a couple of the other guys will be available for the first series, for the South Africa series, because the South Africa series comes after the Zimbabwe series. So the main issue is the Zimbabwe series. You understand? That is the main series. The Zimbabwe the Zimbabwe one is the main problem. The IPL, it is slated to start in March, so that won't be a problem. Now, these are the 14 players that I was thinking about, and as I said, more than likely the same squad will be played. They will use the same squad for the two series. But there's one player that I'm not too sure if I want to see him going up against Nakia. That is probably going to be a problem. You understand? So let me just give you the 14 and you can let me know who are the players that you think should be added. So Craig Brathwaite is there. Tejnaran Shandopal is there. Casey Carty, Brandon King, Blackwood, Kyle Mayers, Da Silva, Kima Roach, Moti, Anderson Phillip, Alec Arthanes, Kevin Hodge. He was good in the Super 50 for the Windward, and Shannon Gabriel if fit. These are the players that are and Nkrumah Banner. So these are the players that I am looking forward to seeing in the Zimbabwe series. As I said, the Zimbabwe series will be affected by these T20 leagues that are going on, but by the time the South Africa series comes around, then more than likely the other players will be free, because the first South Africa test match will start on the 28th of February. So by the time that comes around, the leagues would finish, because the UAE League will go until the 12th of February and the South Africa League will go until the 11th of February. So the Zimbabwe tour, that is the one that is really going to cause some problems. So we're definitely going to wait and see how it's going to work out. But by that, people like Jason Hola and those guys should be back. Don't know if they're going to use somebody like Nkrumah Banner to play in Zimbabwe and then bring him to South Africa. As I said, Henrik Naki and those guys is not calling him out in my peeps, but every time we see him up against the pace bowlers, he looks worrying, and we don't want they have to take anybody to the hospital. You understand? So we're definitely going to keep an eye on how things are developing, but just wanted to let you guys know before you go ahead and select players that should be in the squad. Just remember all those that are not available: Odin Smith, Romario Shepherd, Alzari, Raymond Simmons, Jason Hola, Kimo Paul. They are slated to take part in the South Africa League unless the league is going to be cancelled. I don't know if you're going to cancel or going to continue, but they are slated to take part in that. And in the UAE now, we have Akil Hussein, Raymond Rifa, Puran, and it goes without saying, Ruslan Narayan. Those guys don't play red ball cricket. So they are all going to be involved in that. So just wanted to bring that forward, my peeps. And also I want to give you later on I'm going to give you an update as it relates to what is going on in that test match between Australia and South Africa. We see David Warner playing in his 100th test match, getting a double century. So we're going to talk about that later on, and we're going to take a look at the New Zealand game versus Pakistan. So just continue to stay tuned, and remember now, if you have not yet subscribed, just go right ahead and subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel, and later on we will definitely take a look at those two games.